Hello, hello, hello. I just want to make sure everything's working. Yes, it is. Okay, let me turn it off. Double check again. Always double check, triple check. Make sure the technology is working. Okay, good. We are good to go. Welcome to the master class. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the master class. The 5 silent struggles of high achieving women and what to do about them. If we haven't met before, my name is Coco Duan. I am a former Fortune 500 executive turned life and leadership coach. And I help high achieving women become the CEO of your inner life so you can lead with calm confidence and create success that is fulfilling for you. And welcome to this class. And this is a class that you are going to feel seen and also feel hopeful because that the struggles, the 5 struggles we will be talking about, and I used to struggle with all of them. And these are the main reasons that many high achieving women come to me for coaching. And the reason why I say it's a silent struggle is because this many women are experiencing this and they have never told anybody else before. Just like when I was struggling alone. I was struggling silently, and I felt no one was in my corner and no one understood what I was going through, and I didn't feel comfortable. And actually, I felt ashamed to share some of the struggles with other people. And the same reason many high achieving women come to me, and it was the first time they ever shared their struggles with someone else. So I want to use this space, this class, to normalize this. I want you to feel that you are not alone in this, and there's nothing wrong with you. If you have experienced any of the 5 struggles or all of them, and also it's not your fault. A lot of times we believed the reason why we struggle is because our fault. There's something wrong with us. But in reality is that all of the things I will be mentioning, the struggles have been deeply conditioned into you from early childhood. And in many ways, those patterns, emotional, behavioral, psychological patterns, have helped you survive and helped you become who you are today, which is have helped you achieve a lot of success. But now it's holding you back because you feel tired, unfulfilled. empty and just feel that just something doesn't feel right, feels off. So the good news is you can change. There is hope because I, as I said, I used to struggle with all of them for a long time. And now I'm on the other side. And I feel energized every day. And I do the work that's truly fulfilling. And I wake up every day feel alive. And I still have doubts and fears? Absolutely yes, but they don't stop me from moving forward. And I'm truly living my life to the fullest. So if it's possible for me and it's absolutely possible for you, and I'm going to walk you through the 5-step process that I have developed to address the 5 struggles. So if I can change, you can change too. And you are taking this first step. You're joining this class, meaning that you are taking responsibility because you cannot blame other people anymore, right? I used to blame my ex-husband, my bosses, my company, my team, all the external circumstances. But I realized in order to change my life, the minute I realized, in order for me to not to struggle anymore, to live a different life, the only person that I have control over is me, not others. So that is what you're going to learn today. You you don't need more communication strategies. You don't need more time management tools or life hacks. Those are all, I would say, surface things you can learn once you become the CEO of your inner life. Once you know how to manage your own emotion, thoughts, and actions, and actually ultimately once you change the way you see yourself, once you step into this new identity, this new version of you, then everything around you is going to change. But everything starts with you. So we're going to dive into each struggles, and at the end, I'll tell you my 5-step process to help you to overcome those struggles and to become a new version of you who can lead with calm confidence and create success that feels fulfilling. Are you ready? Okay. Struggle number 1. You are always on. Just constantly go, 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 do, produce, produce, produce. You are a productivity machine. You are thinking about being productive all the time. You're mentally juggling a million things. Your mind is racing with to-dos, and your to-do list feels like it never ends. And resting feels lazy. Resting doesn't feel productive, but you are tired. And sometimes you want to rest, but you just don't know how to slow down and how to stop. It used to be me. I actually was proud of that. I thought I was very productive. I thought I was very capable, just like this, mm, yeah, machine. Anyhow, I check email first in the morning, check my email last thing at night, work a lot of time, work on the weekends, and I even cannot switch off on vacations. I wanted to, but I just didn't know how. And outside of work was also just activities, one after another. My whole calendar is just packed with things to do and places to go. And I remember back in 2018, I was living in South Korea. I had an expat job there, so I was there alone, and I started to feel the pressure, the stress is it's kind of taking a toll on me. And I learned about the benefit of meditation. So I tried to do, to do meditation on my own, and I spent like $150 on bought this app, meditation app called Calm. You may have heard of it, and try to do it on my own. And I remember what a struggle. And just 5 minutes, sit still for 5 minutes felt like an eternity. And I would just check my watch all the time. Is it 5 minutes yet? It's only 1 minute. Is it 5 minutes yet? Oh, shit, it's only 2 minutes. And that was the state I was in just a few years back. And the funny thing is, yesterday I coached a client, and that was the same experience that she is having now. I asked her just to be alone for 5 minutes and to see how she felt. That's exactly what she told me. It felt like 5 minutes, felt like a forever. And that's the state, right? You may have similar experiences. And another story I have was a client of mine. She has been working with me for last 2 3 years now. And when we first started, she had a similar struggle. She used to be very physically active. Then she had a baby and also moved to a new country. She wanted to, she felt weak. So she wanted to go to restart doing exercises. And she says like, I just want to take one yoga class a week. The best time for her was lunchtime. I remember we had a one full coaching session just on her her mindset, how to get her to just take one yoga class a week, because she was so hard for her to take this break during lunch. She was worried, what if something gonna happen? What if they need me? And what if my team think I'm slacking? Right? All of those thoughts, it was impossible. It felt impossible for her just to slow down during lunch hour once a week. And eventually she did. And now she exercises on a regular basis, and she completely changed her state of being. But that's the common struggle so many high achieving women have. If you feel this way, there's nothing wrong with you. And I'll tell you why. Guess what? With this, if you're constantly on, go, 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 do, everything's urgent, house is on fire, you cannot stop, and but you feel tired. It's exhaustion, physical and mental exhaustion. And also this hypervigilance. It's always watch out. If there's something gonna go wrong, what if people need me? And what if there's urgent email? What if this urgent ask? Right? Just hyper vigilant. But that is inability to slow down. What's the driver? What is going on? This is really your nervous system. Your nervous system is in dysregulation. I'm going to give a quick overview on this. I'm not going to deep dive into nervous system. I can talk about this for hours, but you can check my podcast, Grounded Confidence, and I have a few episodes on nervous system regulation. So really what is happening is your nervous system is the most important system in your body. It's almost like a surveillance system to keep you alive. Its primary role is keep you safe. So every millisecond of the day, it it scans the environment, scans your internal state, and just asks this question, just this one question: Are you safe or are you in danger? 10 out of 10 times, it chooses safety. If there's safety versus you being like thriving, right, doing something that really make you feel alive, no, it chooses safety 10 out of 10 times because that's its primary role and it creates your whole human experience. And there's a threat detector in the in our system, and that threat detector literally lives in our body. That is almost feels like a database. In this database, it stores every single lived experiences that you have. That the ones that your mind, your brain doesn't remember. Your brain only remembers a fraction of your lived experiences, but your body remembers every single one of them. So when you experience something, current situation or something new, then it goes to this database to say, was it safe? Was the similar experiences from the past, was it safe or was it dangerous? It If it was unsafe, then this system will send you alarm saying that no, there's a threat. You'd better run. You'd better fight or flight. That's the activation it gets you into. It activates you into sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. And that's when it mobilizes you to either run away from the danger as quickly as you can or fight with this threat in front of you. So the metaphor I like to use is almost feels like running away from a tiger. And that's the imagine that, right? A tiger is coming, what are you going to do? Either run away as fast as you can or you turn around and fight with the tiger. So that's the state you've been basically operating in. It's this survival mode. And the danger, what are those dangers? The dangers, it's pretty much everywhere. It's based on your past experience. If it was not safe to rest before, then it's not safe to rest now. If it's you equate safety with doing, achieving, performing, producing, which many of us are. We we grow up in this society, right? This society is very much conditioning us to be productivity driven, performance driven, and always reward people who do more, who going above and beyond, and right, straight A students and active in all sorts of activities and all of those things. So we basically been trained. All this we high achieving women have been trained to equate doing equals safety, not doing, resting or relaxing equals danger, equals lazy. Because when you are achieving, producing, and doing, you get recognition, you get love and acceptance. But if you don't get those things, then of course, that's not safe. So that's the big conditioning. Then what other threat? What other threat is? Deadline is a threat. If you need to present in front of your CEOs and high stakes meeting, that's a threat. And go into a performance review, you realize, okay, your performance are going to get evaluated from your boss. That's a threat, right? All of those things are threat because if you miss a deadline, there's potential consequence. And if you do not perform well in a presentation, in a meeting, or in a project, and it may impact your performance review. And that's a threat. And that not only threatens your potential livelihood, and youth feels like that threatens your identity as this high achieving person. So that's why all of those things feels like a threat. That's why you just need to constantly go, 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 do, and produce. that's where it's coming from. So that's the first struggle. You are always on. The second struggle is that you are doing everything right, but it doesn't feel right. You are high functioning, you are doing a lot, but you feel anxious and tense. You're constantly fixing other people's problems, pleasing other people, and proving you're unclear who you really are underneath all the doing. So the first struggle is very much behavior level, just right, go, 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 do, do, do. And the second is very much at identity level. It's like you feel like there's obligation, it's like you have to do, otherwise that's who you are. Otherwise, like you are not valuable anymore. So my story, give you one story. I have always been this high performing, high functioning in in the corporate world. And the last job I had was at Chewy, a company that's fast growing, and there's already all right. My day job responsibility was already a lot. But then somehow I just felt this urge or desire or the need to always go above and beyond. And there was this one thing, which was the company was hiring a lot of people, and they needed people to interview all those potential hires. And the interviews, a lot of them is not on my team. It's actually for cross-functional teams or for other teams. They need volunteers to volunteer interviewers. And I was the one, just whenever recruiters reach out to me, say, Coco, can you interview this person? Coco, can you interview that person? I would always say yes. At that point, I didn't even understand why I just had this urge to say yes all the time. And at some point, I audited my calendar because I just felt like I was doing so many interviews. I was I didn't have time to do actually my day job. One point, I looked at my calendar. It turned out I spent 10 hours a week doing interviews. 10 hours a week. That was crazy. So that's why I ended up working overtime in the evenings, on the weekends, because I couldn't say no to recruiters to do interviews. That's when I already started being coached. Then I did a deeper dive into this behavior. I was like, why? Why I felt this obligation to say yes to recruiters? It turned out that people pleasing tendency, is that I was someone who always afraid to disappoint other people. And I was willing to sacrifice my own needs to make others happy. And that was a conditioned behavior since I was young. Because in my household, I couldn't say no to the adults in my life. And I had to do a lot of things to make my parents happy, to make my grandparents happy. But, you know, it's something I really didn't want to do, but I felt I had to do. So that pattern carried all the way to the professional world. That one. And the other one was also somehow I felt that I need to going above and beyond to prove that I'm valuable. I felt that's a way for me to add value to the company. And that's a way for me to be seen as high performing. right? It was this need to prove that I'm valuable, I'm good enough. Because deep down, I felt I wasn't valuable just being me, or wasn't valuable just to do my day job. And with that, I was doing everything right, right? But guess what? It doesn't feel right because I was exhausted. I extended myself. And then the desire underneath that was all fear driven. It wasn't really because I was so excited to do those things. It was because if I didn't do those things, if I didn't raise my hand, if I didn't go above and beyond, then I would disappoint other people. Then I was worried that people thought I wasn't valuable enough. So that was the problem. With that, you may you may relate to that, right? Just this, it's completely autopilot. Back then I didn't even know why I was doing it. I was just doing it because it was just so deeply conditioned into me. It's That's what it called autopilot, but it's very much survival mechanism. It was very intelligent survival strategies, but it's not sustainable. With that, you feel tense, you feel anxious, you feel disconnected because it's all fear driven. It's not desire driven. And the true driver is the protector parts, the parts work. I also not going to deep dive into this concept. You can check out my podcast. I have an episode on this. And this is such important concept because this is a very, so it's inspired by internal family system, this work. So there are multiple parts inside of us. And the the people pleasing, proving that you are valuable enough, the fixer, the controller, the perfectionist, overachiever, all of those so-called identities, all those behavior patterns, they are all protector parts. They are the ones that are trying to protect you. Protect you from what? Protect you from the vulnerable part. Those protector parts and vulnerable parts are younger part of you. The vulnerable part is the younger, tender version of you that has who has experienced emotional pain, who has experienced embarrassment, rejection, humiliation, disappointment. And with that, the protector jumps in to protect that vulnerable part so that vulnerable part doesn't have to feel that again. Use the let's say the people pleaser, right? People pleasing part as example. People pleasing is a protector part, but the vulnerable part is what? The vulnerable part is that if I say, right, when I was younger, if I say no to my parents, I would probably get shamed, get punished. So that was painful. I didn't want to experience that again. Then this protector, people pleaser, got developed. And then I became someone who just say yes to all the requests, no matter how unreasonable it is. And you feel like this need, obligation to say yes so that I don't disappoint, I don't upset other people, so I can feel safe. So that is the dynamic, right? The vulnerable part is a tender, younger version of you, doesn't want to feel the pain again, emotional pain. The protector part is the one that jumps in to using different kind of survival mechanisms. And and really what's happening is that those are the younger part of you, and those are the past projecting on the present you. And those are the survival strategies are running the show. Ultimately, you want to learn is this adult, now not adult wise version of you need to take the wheel. And I'll explain that later. But this is for you just to understand the struggle. Why is that is happening, right? Why you become this fixer, people pleaser, and perfectionist, controller, and even avoider, right? Avoiding situations. So that's struggle number 2. Struggle number 3 is you You care about people. You care deeply. But stress makes you reactive. You snap at people. You explode sometimes. You feel shamed and disappointed how you showed up. I'm not proud to admit that, but I snapped at my teams multiple times and wasn't pretty at all. And I made a couple of my team members cried in front of other people. It wasn't because I intentionally wanted to hurt them, right? That was not me. I am a kind person. I really see myself as a very kind, caring, loving person. But when I was under stress and I didn't know how to regulate my emotions, and then it came out. The frustration just exploded. I exploded at my team. I used to explode at my ex and also with my parents. So you may have experienced similar, right? With your partners, with your team, with your kids. And it felt it feels horrible to do that. But we felt somehow couldn't control it. It's like I just can't take it anymore. Right? So really what's happening is this emotional dysregulation. Then you feel shame and guilt afterwards. The driver is emotional suppression. If you snap, if you explode, if you're reactive, it's never just because this one thing. Is you've been triggered, right? It's been triggered related to the second point. This vulnerable part of you being triggered. You feel this emotional pain, similar emotional pain from the past. That's how you get triggered. But then because you have never dealt with those emotional triggers and you haven't really fully processed the emotions from the past, and then one day you cannot take it anymore, then that's where the explosion happens. Yeah, I remember when I exploded at someone on my team, it wasn't because the first time ever she made that mistake. It was because she had made similar mistakes prior, but I didn't address it. I didn't know. I didn't, first of all, even admit it. I didn't even allow myself to feel it. And I didn't process it. And then I didn't address those smaller incidences prior. Then eventually, one day, when she made a similar mistake or bigger mistake, then that's when our system couldn't hold it in anymore. That's when the explosion happens. So that's the driver. It's not because you're a bad person. It's not because you have a bad temper. It's not because you are a bad manager, a bad leader. Mm-mm. No, it's just this emotional suppression and emotional illiteracy, I would call it. Okay, so that's struggle number 3. Struggle number 4 is that you've hit all the milestones, the titles, the money, the success, but it feels empty inside. Then you're asking yourself, like, is this it? Right? You're like, really? I thought if I, if I get this promotion, if I become director, if I become VP, if I make this amount of money, I will feel happy. I will feel a certain way. But that's not happening because you are living a version of success that doesn't feel like yours. And that that's my story. 4 years ago, that's how I felt. And before that, I felt this contentment, this disconnection for a while. But I kept going because in my mind, the next thing probably will fix the way I was feeling because I didn't know better. I just kept going. I'm like, okay, let me keep going. Maybe when I buy a house, things are going to be different. Oh, okay, maybe when my ex gets his master degree, when he makes more money, then will be better. Then let's when I become whatever, just like always the next external stuff, things will be better. But eventually, I checked all the boxes and actually way more than I imagined. But I didn't feel any better. And that's when I woke up. Then I realized what the answer probably is not outside. The answer needs to come from inside. I really need to work on myself. So that's the driver. The driver is that the external success without internal alignment doesn't bring you fulfillment, doesn't bring you peace, it doesn't bring you happiness. Internal alignment is coming from within. Only you have the answer. It's about aligning with your gifts, talents, and your values. And everyone is different. Everyone has its your own unique gifts, talents, and your values. For me, even though I was, you could be very good at what you're doing, but doesn't mean that's aligned with you. I was very good at my job in corporate world, but my work was very analytical, super data driven, and also very task driven, not very people centered. And I was very good at that, super good at that. But it didn't make it didn't make me come alive, and it didn't light me up, and didn't absolutely didn't make my soul sing. Right? I always had this nagging feeling of just feels like this is not just not it, right? I didn't know what it was. I just like, no, it was not it. Until I started doing the work that I'm doing now, being an entrepreneur as a coach. And I felt it. I felt this alignment. Because for me, freedom and autonomy is paramount. Also, for me, to connect with people on a deep level, that's so nourishing for me. And for me also, it's like teaching like we're doing. And I realized not long ago, I loved teaching even when I was 6 years old. First grade, I remember first grade, I just learned this new mathematics equations and some new Chinese characters, and I couldn't wait to come home to get the kids, younger kids, 4 or 5 year old kids, to my house and teach them what I learned in the class. And that was what lit me up since I was 6 years old. And that is what I'm doing today. I love doing this. I love teaching master classes. I love teaching from my lived experiences and all this right wisdom that I've gained through my own struggles. And that is alignment. When you have that alignment, the work doesn't feel like work anymore. When you do not have that, it feels like a dread. It feels like a drain, even though you are good at it. So that's the struggle number four. Struggle number five is you know you are smart and capable, but you edit yourself. You hesitate to speak up. You hold yourself back. You downplay your achievements, and you constantly question if you are coming off too much or not enough. You just very much worry about what other people think of you, especially in public setting and high stakes situations. That was me too. I used to, remember, I used to have this monthly meeting with our CEO in my last job. And I hated those meetings. So uncomfortable for me. Even though I knew my business so well, I was doing really, really well. I know how to run my business, lead my team. I knew my business inside out, but going to those meetings just felt so stressful. And I was asked to presenting our department town hall or company-wide town hall. Oh my God, I hated it. Hated it. I would rather, I thought about calling sick for those meetings. And networking, awkward thing ever. Hated it. Social media, no, I didn't post on social media for years. I didn't have Instagram I, until recently, right? Just the visibility feels dangerous. Visibility feels unsafe. I made myself small. So that's a common thing, common struggle. I see a lot of smart, capable women experience as well. So you may feel insecurity, self-doubt, and frustration. It's very frustrating because you know you're smart, you know you have a strong point of view, you know you have the knowledge, expertise to share, but somehow you couldn't, right? Just this invisible wall is blocking you. It's very frustrating. The driver is also very much childhood conditioning. The fear in was programmed into you. The fear of being judged, rejected, or seen as too much. If you speak up in big meetings, what if you make a mistake? What if it's not perfect? What if you've been seen as not smart enough? Or what if you've been seen as too much? Or being too ambitious or too vocal, right? We've been say that. I remember there was a point that I was being told, "Oh, Coco, you're too aggressive. You're too ambitious." Yeah, I didn't want to be seen as too aggressive or too ambitious or too assertive, right? The mixed messages. If you speak up, you're like, "Oh, you're too much." But if you don't speak up, it's like, "Oh, you need to be more confident." It's like, which way should I be? It's because you're not grounded. You're not grounded in who you are. And that's why you are very much swayed by other people's opinions of you. So, those are the five silent struggles. Struggle number one, you're always on. Struggle number two, you're doing everything right but doesn't feel right. Struggle number three, you care deeply, but stress makes you reactive. You snap or even explode. Struggle number four, you hit all the milestones, but it feels empty. Struggle number five, you know you're smart and capable, but you hold yourself back. You edit yourself. You hesitate to speak up and owning your voice. If you experience any of the fives or all of them, As I said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not alone. Most high achieving women experience this. I used to experience all of this, all of it. But now, not anymore, because there's a way out. There is a way out. The way out is I have developed proprietary, very much my own. I last 4 years. I worked so hard on myself. I've learned from all the coaches, therapists, and I read so many books and just all different ways and methodologies, and I combined everything that I learned that it's most effective into this 5-step process. And this 5-step process is all about how to regulate your nervous system and how to heal the parts in you that hold you back, and ultimately learn how to manage your own thoughts, emotions, and actions. With that, then you are able to lead with calm confidence and create the success that feels fulfilling, and really step into this a new identity. It's not just about doing more things. It's not just about doing the same things over and over again. It's also not about, as I said, right, not just like, communication strategies and time management skills. No, it's this foundational work ultimately shifting your identity, and you become a new version of you. So, what are the 5 steps? Just fairly quickly, we don't have time to go through step each one of them in detail. I will have a separate masterclass just to do that. But for this particular class, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what these 5 steps are. The step one, number one, is reset your nervous system. The, the struggle number one is your nervous system is in dysregulation. You need to break that loop. You need to reset your nervous system to safety, to feel safe. Only with that you can break the busy loop, and you can move from this hustle, right, being like a hustling energy and this over functioning achiever, to anti hustle, to this grounded, well resourced leader, because always on it's costing you. So you can step off the hamster wheel to lead with presence. Presence. Be present. It's the most important thing to live a good life, really. To be a good leader, be a good partner, be a good parent. It's all about your ability to be present. And that is by how do you do that? By resetting your nervous system. That's the first step. The second step is to rewire your survival strategies. What I mentioned earlier, the all the different protector parts of yours, being a perfectionist, people pleaser, fixer, controller, overachiever, all of those are protector parts of you. They are survival strategies. They have helped you to have kept you safe, right? Become who you are today. But now they keep you stuck. They keep you feel emotionally and physically drained every day. And just feels like there's just so much anxiety and fear and frustration inside of you. And now the identity shift is shifting from protectors running your life to your wise inner adult, your wise adult taking the wheel. It's all about strengthen your wise adult part, the connection with you, so that you can lead from a calm, grounded place. So that's step 2. Rewire survival strategies so that all the protect you can retire all the protectors because the wise adult version of you is taking over. Step number 3, emotions. Regulate your emotions. This is so critical. You are shifting from this reactive perfectionist to emotional alchemist, to someone who feels deeply and lead wisely. You can only lead wisely when you feel deeply. Your leadership range is your emotional range. Your emotional range, how your capacity to feel and process your emotions, especially those hard, big emotions, and determines how much of a space you can hold for other people. So when you have that emotional clarity, then you can lead from emotional mastery place. Otherwise, you lead from emotional chaos and emotional illiteracy or emotional call it ignorance. And emotional mastery is something that you can develop. And actually, last week's masterclass was on that. You can go back and check out that class. So step 4 is redefine your success. Truly find this inner alignment, aligns with what matters to you. The identity shift is shifting from approval seeker. The traditional success, the path that you are on doesn't feel aligned with you is because of what? You want to meet others' expectations, your parents' expectations, society's expectations. So then it's all about getting the approval from other people. Prove that you are capable enough, you are smart enough, and you are successful enough, right? But now you want to go to a place that is a values-driven visionary. It's your own values. What matters to you? You want to become this person who chooses growth over approval. So you can stop outsourcing your direction and you step into being the author of your own story and being the driver of your own car. Last one is reclaim your voice, your worth, and your power. And then you can own every room that you walk in because it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it, the energy behind it. And do you feel fully comfortable in your own skin? If you feel fully comfortable in your own skin, you show up with the you show up with the right energy, right? It's people drawn to you, and you have this magnetic power, and people wanted to follow you, and then you have this executive presence because people feel your power, not just your words. And also that's when you feel like you can be vulnerable because that's how you really build true connection, because being real is way more powerful than being perfect. That's the step 5. So step 1 is reset your nervous system. Step 2 is to rewire survival strategies. It's all about retire the protector parts of you and have the adult wise version of you taking the wheel. Step 3 is regulate your emotions. Become emotionally masterful. Step 4 is redefine success. You become a values driven visionary. Step 5 is Step 5 is to reclaim your voice, worth, and power. You shift from wow, self-doubting shape shifter to grounded truth teller. Teller. Grounded truth teller. You own the room wherever you go. And once you do that, you become a new version of you. Then you lead from calm, not chaos. You move through your day with clarity, focus, and grounded energy. You are present. You get things done without burning out. And you feel grounded in yourself, so you don't feel the need to overperform, overgiving, or overproving. And you begin to feel safe just being you. And you respond with intention, not reactivity. You still will get triggered. That's normal. That's just part of being a human. But you don't react or you don't spiral. When you catch yourself when you react, and you can repair faster, and you also show up with more compassion, more grace in hard moments. You also create success that actually fulfills you. Do you still feel fear and discomfort? Absolutely. I still do today. But they don't stop me from moving forward anymore. And I feel I'm like courageous, right? And bold in moving, in taking the aligned actions, moving towards my goals and my values. And ultimately, you own your worth and you own your voice, you own your space. And occasionally, do you still doubt yourself? You do. I still doubt myself sometimes, but it doesn't stop me. I speak up, I set boundaries, I take up space, and I'm not afraid to be visible. Right? Yeah, as you can see, I'm everywhere on social media. I'm just comfortable being me. That's it. I'm not concerned about what other people think of me anymore. And you can too. So you can speak up powerfully, you can lead confidently, and you can advocate for yourself for what matters. And you can be visible, and you can really own the room, every room you show up. How wonderful that will be, right? This new version of you, this grounded version of you that can lead with calm confidence, create a success truly fulfills you, and you feel just comfortable being in your own skin. And you live a life that is true to you, and you just feel alive. Feeling alive doesn't mean you feel happy all the time. Feeling alive doesn't mean you don't feel negative emotions. It means that you know how to move through them, and you move through them with grace. You move them through a sense of peace because you know you're capable. So that is the class. So we have gone through the 5 silent struggles. Hopefully you feel seen. You feel like you are not alone. You are not. And also there's nothing wrong with you. There's a path out. There is a roadmap to get you out. And I really wanted to support you to transform to a new version of you, that you don't have to struggle anymore. Because The days that I was struggling with all the things for years was really dark, was really lonely, very isolating, and suffering, lot of suffering. What I want to tell you is that you don't have to go through all of that. You don't have to continue to suffer. And this class is a great start. It's a great start. But also, I know it's not easy to do this work on your own because you need support, you need guidance, and you need tools and skills and resources. So, my long road, my past 4 years of all the learning and and experimenting, exploring, all of that, my long road can become your shortcut. So I invite you to take the next step with me, to join me to my one-on-one coaching program. And this program, I take you step by step, the what I outlined, all the 5 steps, and they are proven. I have helped dozens of women to transform their lives. So it can be you too, just one decision away. And you may be wondering, well, coaching is an investment. I'm not sure that's right for me. Fair question. That's why I make the next step very simple and easy. I offer 1 hour free consultation. This 1 hour free consultation is not a sales call, it's a clarity call. I help you to get clear on where you are now, where do you want to be, what is the gap in between. I'll provide a personalized support plan. Yes, there's step by step, but also there's a lot of individualized, right, challenges and nuances. And I'll capture all of that and give you something even more personalized. So you are going to walk away with very powerful insights about you, about what are the patterns that you are experiencing. Regardless whether we decide to work together or not, you're going to walk away with powerful insights that help you to move forward. I encourage you to book this call with me. You can either just DM me consultation, I'll send you the link, or you can go on my website, cocoduancoaching.com. You can find the link to book a consultation with me. Regardless, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear that what is one key takeaway for you from this masterclass. Thank you again for joining and hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.